Hi, how are yourself?
Sorry, didn't get it.
How's things with yourself? How are you?
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't understand you.
How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, you have to speak without slang, I guess.
Yeah, I will try my best.
That is good, because I am not from your part of the world. I'm sorry.
I've got a very strong Welsh accent.
You're in Wales.
Yeah,
Okay. We had a backliner once long ago that also came from Wales. So I remember, but could never understand this. Hard for me to understand. However,
how how is things with you and the rest of the band? Are you all okay?
yes, everybody fine, all sane, everybody happy with the new release. All
Yeah,
good.
uh, we'll come up to that, right, in a bit. Um, Growing up, what music did you grow up listening to, and what got you into heavy metal?
Oh, my first touch with rock music at all was, I think it was the Beatles back then in '69. The first album I ever heard from them was Abbey Road when it just came out, and I was 4 or 5 years or so. My elder brother, he was listening to it, and that's how I got in touch with rock music first time. And through my cousin, I got into all this hard rock stuff, Deep Purple, all this stuff a bit later. He was also elder than me and running a band already, and this inspired me very much. So when I was about around 10 or so, I also started. I tried to start my first band, and at this point, end of the '70s or so, or middle '70s. There was not heavy metal was not around at this time. It was just hard rock bands, and punk was coming up. Also, I like these punk bands very much. Ramones, Motorhead was sold as a punk band back then,
Yeah,
and the very first albums. And yeah, a bit later, I got then into metal. When it was called metal, I was already into all these bands. I remember I liked Saxon very much. End of '70s. Priest. I was not that much into Maiden, but however, and then when metal, when all these bands from the US came, also like Metallica and Slayer, also got into this, and this was already the time when I started with my band, with Avenger, firstly called, and then later Rage.
yeah.
Um, so I was already into it.
You have to excuse the barking. I've got a puppy, and he's in the naughty stages, so he's
Okay,
barking.
I don't mind.
If I had him in a different room, he'd make so much noise. So I have to keep him near me.
Okay.
Uh, what got you into? When did you first started playing bass, and when did you start singing?
Oh, I was singing right from the beginning. When I was around 9 or so, when I started to learn classical guitar, was my first instrument, nylon strings, and right after this, I already started with two friends, my very first band, where I played the electric guitar firstly, besides of singing, and after a while, some other friends joined us, and we had three guitar players, but no bass player. At this time, I was a big fan of Lemmy from Motorhead, and loved the Rickenbacker bass, the 2001 model that he was playing.
Yeah.
And when I got the chance to get an old used one, quite cheaply in my shop here, I just grabbed the chance and bought me this bass guitar and just switched over to play the bass in the band.
Oh, absolutely. That's one one of the makes, because I used to play bass guitar, and they're so expensive now, Rickenbackers, and
Really?
yeah, yeah, in the
I have two,
UK,
I have
talking
two
about,
old ones.
yeah, you're talking about £2,000 up.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
wasn't aware. I have my first one I got back then was from '69, and I have a second one from '73.
Oh, they amazing.
Still in,
Instrument,
hmm?
beautiful.
They're
Uh,
still in good shape, both.
yeah, yeah. It's one of the instruments, one of the basses I've always wanted, but I could not afford it.
Wow, I wasn't aware that they are so expensive now.
Yeah, yeah, very expensive. Uh,
All right.
you you formed the band Avenger in 1983, but you changed the name to Rage in 1986.
A bit
What was
earlier,
it?
in 85 it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Um, what was the reason with changing the name? What was a specific reason?
It was the record company back then. The very first album we did under the name Avenger was out on a very small German independent label, and they were not able to distribute us worldwide or even not German wide. Because it was just a local, very small label. So right after this, we switched to Noise Records. We signed to Noise Records in '85, and they demanded a name change back then. And that was the reason why we had to change.
Oh, but it's, last month you released Resurrection Day.
Right.
I reviewed it and I give it 9 out of 10.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, it's a brilliant, brilliant album. When did you start writing and recording the album?
So writing, I started already by late 2019. Um, I had already like the raw concept and some skeletal versions of the songs. We worked on the material the whole year 2020. During the lockdown, there wasn't anything else to do, and we started recording beginning of this year in January. And also, this took a bit longer than usually because of the lockdown. We had to when we started in a studio in Spain recording the drums, and then it was everywhere in Europe lockdown, and we had to go home. So we did all the rest of the tracks in our home studios and brought it all together then for the mix. So I guess we were ready around May or so with it.
What did you find it difficult recording with all the issues with COVID? Was it difficult?
It was a bit unusual for us to do everything at home, most of the stuff at home. Usually we always go in the studio and do all together, all the stuff together. And this first time that we had to work separately, but in the end, it works, I mean, all this digital technology today makes it really easy.
Yeah. Do you prefer recording in these days, or do you prefer the way they used to be recorded years ago?
Back then in the '80s when everything was analog.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, both things have their good parts. Back then, of course, I think the band feeling was easier to capture because you were playing basically in a live situation and just
yeah.
adding some overdubs on back later. So everything felt more like a band recording. But nowadays, of course, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to. For example, when I remember back then, you had to play the whole song through. You know, when you just made one little mistake, you had to start again from the beginning. It was not really easy to drop in back then. You know, and
Yeah.
that's of course easier with the digital methods. You know.
Yeah. It's I remember when my old band recorded, we went into a studio called Famous Studios in Cardiff, and the mixing desk were, I can't remember the albums, but Robert Plant, and they had recorded a lot of their
Yeah.
material on that, and it was something which we were proud of,
Yeah.
because
It's
it's like, wow.
legendary times.
Yeah. People which own it now are the Manic Street Preachers. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they bought the mixing decks,
Oh,
so they use it now.
yeah.
But
I
it's
mean, when you like to work with this old school equipment, then you got good chances nowadays because most studios had to get rid of the stuff. You know, it's so expensive and takes so
yeah,
much space, and you need technicians that still know how to work with this. You know, most
yeah,
of the modern studio technicians, they're good on digital stuff, but they don't really know how to use all this old school stuff. You know.
yeah. We did our demos in Famous Studios, and then we recorded our album at a studio called Shabby Road Studio in South Wales, and that was all digital, so it was very different. But I close to my heart, that mixing decks, it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds a bit different, right?
yeah. Uh, how has the fan base received Resurrection Day? Has it been all positives?
Yeah, yeah, 99% positive reactions. Very few people that you know. You always have those people. They go for some old albums and nothing compares to this. You know, so
Yeah,
you can never make those people happy. But
yeah,
99% were really excited about the album and liked it very much, or like it still. You know, we had good chart entries everywhere, and yeah, basically very good reactions. We were
yeah. It,
just happy.
it's brilliant album, absolutely brilliant. When it comes to touring, have you started touring yet, or
We,
have you got plans for the future?
yeah, we played already a couple of shows, a handful of shows, right, the last weeks. But the main part of the tour is planned for November, December, and of course, we're at the moment we're not sure if we can play everything like we have settled it so far because
Yeah,
of the pandemic situation. It's changing here in Germany constantly, and all
yeah,
these restriction laws. You can never really make plans, you know. So we cross our fingers that we can play as much as possible from what we have set up so far, you know.
yeah. Um, I'll let you go very, very shortly. Finally, are we going to be seeing you in the UK in the near future, either on a full tour or a festival appearance?
I hope so. um, I think there was something set up for the UK, but it's due to the situation we had to push it again in the future, and I'm at the moment I'm not really sure because I'm not in the picture where our booking agency at what point they are right now, you know. But they have some dates there. They are in discussion with local promoters to bring us over. Um, and yeah, let's hope that the situation gets better for us for touring and we can do this, you know. But I'm pretty sure for next year, the festival situation will already be better than this year.
Yeah, definitely. It's been absolutely amazing speaking to you.
Thank you.
Good luck with your future dates, and I cannot wait to see Rage back in the UK, and I can get to listen to all the good songs. And I do
Thank you.
apologize about my accent.
You don't have to apologize. I mean, everybody has his speech, how he speaks, and that's all very okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, we found a way to communicate.
Yeah, yeah.
If I speak in my native slang we have here in my area, you would also understand me, I guess, even if you would be able to speak German, because it's also a horrible
I was
slang.
in the army. I was based in Germany for 12 months in Paderborn.
Paderborn, yeah, this is a bit north of me, but they
Yeah,
have also a complete different slang than I have here in my area. I mean, in the Ruhr area. This is
yeah,
from Essen, Essen, Bochum,
yeah, yeah,
Dortmund,
yeah.
this area.
Absolutely, I loved it. Love Germany. Absolutely.
Thanks. Thanks, and greets to all the British fans.
Yeah, I will. This will be going up very, very shortly, so I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to listen to the new songs live, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
Right.
All right. See you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.